MC businesses are currently double money, so today I'm going to share with you how to easily make $3 million a day with them in GTA Online. To start things off, you'll first have to buy an MC Clubhouse off the Maze Bank Foreclosures website. They are all on discount this week, so they are fairly cheap, but I do suggest going with one that's either closest to all of your businesses in the city or all of your MC businesses at the north of the map. Once you have a Clubhouse, you could then head over to the Clubhouse computer and buy the MC businesses. Now there are 5 in total, but some are better than the rest. The Coke Lockup is the most profitable out of all of them. The second best is the Crystal Lab. Third best is Counterfeit Cash Factory, and fourth place is the Grass Farm, and then the Document Forgery Office I would not even bother buying, as it's not even worth your time, even while double money. Now, in order to make $3 million a day, you will have to have the Coke Lockup, the Crystal Lab, the Counterfeit Cash Factory, and the Grass Farm, so purchase all 4, and you could go for the cheapest ones of each. Once you have all 4 and have set them up, make sure to purchase the equipment and staff upgrade for each, as it will make each business way more profitable. Now, the way the business works is you could either purchase or steal supplies. Over time, those supplies get turned into product, which you could later sell for a profit. But with the equipment and staff upgrade, you're going to always want to purchase supplies for 75k, as it's way more worth your time. Now, as I said earlier, each business is different, so let's go through each and talk about how to make money with them. So for the Coke Lockup, if you purchase one batch of supplies, it will take 2 hours to turn those supplies into product, and it will fill up 40% of your Coke Lockup, which this week can be sold for about $400,000. For the Crystal Lab, one batch of supplies will take roughly 2.5 hours to turn into product, and will fill up roughly 45% of the Crystal Lab, which can be sold for $380k. As for the Cash Creation Factory, one batch of supplies will take roughly 2 hours and 40 minutes to fill up 50% of the factory, which can be sold for $350k. And for the Grass Farm, one batch of supplies will take roughly 3 hours and 20 minutes to fill up 60% of the business, which can be sold for about $360k. Now, you could sell all the product after one batch of supplies, but it is more efficient to wait for the business to fully fill up before selling. For those sell missions, you will have multiple sell vehicles, so they will be a little bit harder to do, but it is less sell missions to do over the long run. So in order to easily make $3 million a day this week, I would suggest waiting for each of them to fill up, which for the Coke Lockup would take 2.5 batches of supplies and roughly 5 hours to do so. With a full Coke Lockup, you could sell it for $1 million. For the Crystal Lab, it will take roughly 2.5 batches of supplies again and will take about 6 hours to produce, and it could be sold at the end for $890k. The Counterfeit Cash Factory will take roughly 2 batches of supplies and 4.5 hours of time to fully fill up and can be sold for $735k. And the Grass Farm will take roughly 1.65 batches of supplies and 5.5 hours to fill up, but can be sold for $605,000. And so if you fill up each business all the way and sell them each, you will make roughly $3 million. But as I've said, it's going to take many hours to do so. And the only way the supplies turn into product is if you're in an online session. So you could either play the game quite a bit this week, or instead you could go AFK, which is a way to trick the game into thinking you're online while you're actually away from your game. Now, there are quite a few different ways to do it, but the best way I've found is to go to an apartment building where you have multiple units in it, walk up to the front door, and when you get into the screen where it asks you which apartment to go into, you could leave the game there. It will think you're still online, but in reality, you could plug in your controller, walk away from the game for many hours, and when you come back, all of your supplies will have turned into product. The only 3 things you have to keep in mind if you're going to do this is 1, before you go AFK, make sure you get the text from LJT saying the supplies have arrived. Once you've done that, you could then go AFK. The second thing to keep in mind is make sure to disband as an MC, because if you go AFK while being an MC, your MC businesses may get raided and you lose all your product. And the third thing is to make sure to come back and resupply your businesses roughly every 2 hours. If you do it every 2 hours for about 6 hours total, at the end of it, each business will be completely full and you could sell them for the full $3 million. Now, when it comes to resupplying, you could either go to each business individually and purchase supplies, or if you have an arcade, you could purchase the Master Control Terminal, which acts as a supercomputer, and from it, you could go and resupply each MC business from one single location. It makes things way more efficient, and it's definitely worth picking up if you don't already have it. So let's say you've resupplied the businesses, you've gone AFK for about 6 hours, and now each business is completely full. That means it is now time to sell. Now, you could sell all of these in a public lobby or in a private lobby. It's completely up to you. If you sell them in a public lobby with 20 or more people, you will get a 50% high demand bonus. So instead of making 3 million, you could make up to 4.5 million. But keep in mind, These sell missions are a little bit tricky, especially as a solo player, so selling each in an invite-only session might be the best way to go. Now, there are a handful of different sell missions, but by far the worst one to get is the post-op van. If you get that mission, I would load into a new invite-only session. You will lose a little bit of stock, but there is a decent chance that you won't be able to complete the post-op mission as a solo player, so there's no point even starting it. Aside from that, the rest are fairly easy, and all in, like I said, you're going to be making roughly $3 million at the end of the day. And with that being said, that is how you can make $3 million a day as a solo player with the MC businesses this week. I hope this video helped. If it did, please drop a like. If you're new, subscribe. I will see you in the next one. Peace.